Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Every week on Monday, we produce a show that takes a look specifically at what's happening with real estate here in the Villages. We also discuss what's happening with real estate nationwide. A couple of things to note. I am a realtor here. I focus on the Villages. So if you are looking to buy a house at a good price or you're looking to sell your house at a reasonable price in a reasonable period of time, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. I'll be happy to help you or to advise you on any questions about real estate or the Villages itself. A couple of things further to note. Number one, all of this information is drawn from the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service, does not include any information from the VLS, the Village's own internal listing service. For that reason, if you are looking to buy a house in the Villages, you really should hire two agents. Without a VLS agent and an MLS agent, you will not be able to see all of the houses available for sale. Secondly, please check the date on the show. We produce this every Monday, as I said. Make sure you're getting the most recent information. So, with that housekeeping out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening in the real estate market generally and the Villages specifically. We're going to mix things up a little bit this week, and we're going to start by taking a look at the national median home sales price by quarter. It gives you an idea as to what the real estate market has been doing nationwide. And I've taken this graph back to the beginning of 1997 so that you can compare it to what's been happening with interest rates since then. You can see that the market climbed fairly steadily from 97 for the next 20 years, and then starting in 19, it really accelerated and almost doubled over the succeeding 3 years. Keep this chart in mind as you look at the chart coming up next, which is the yield on the 10-year government bond. We've talked about the government 10-year bond and how it is the bond that most closely tracks the mortgage rates, which I would mention are still at 22 or 23-year highs. This week, we're looking at the 10-year graph where every bar is 1 week so that we can get a better perspective through time. And this graph goes basically back to the beginning of 1997 when rates were almost 7%. They dropped down to 0.4%, and they're currently at almost 4.2%. The interesting thing to note is that almost everybody expects the Fed's next move to be to lower rates. But if oil prices continue higher, it's likely that inflation will be a lot stickier than the Fed intends, and rates may even go higher from here. As a matter of fact, that brings us to our next chart, which is this one. It's the same chart, but I have a red dot, which indicates where I think prices are going, or yields are going, I should say. And it looks to me as if rates are going to be heading higher from here by at least 2%. If you're looking at 7.5 or 8% mortgages today, and rates increase by 2%, we'll be looking at 10% mortgages before long. I know that seems incredible and ridiculous, but 2 years ago, people were getting 30-year mortgages at under 3%. And today, they're looking at expectations that rates may reach 3 times that level in the near future. I don't care how insulated any real estate market is, and the Villages certainly is insulated. A lot of people want to move here. No real estate market is going to be unaffected by financing costs rising from 3% to 8 or 9 or 10%. No market is going to be unaffected by that. No real estate values are going to be unaffected by that. Is it possible that prices head back down to the levels that we saw when interest rates were last this high? If you look at real estate prices as a function of what people are earning, it certainly seems as if prices have a long way to fall. So far in the Villages, we're really not seeing much of that, and prices nationally are really not falling because people are exhausting every option that they can to avoid selling the home that they have a 3% mortgage on, knowing that they would have to take on a mortgage 2 to 3 times higher than that. Hence, a vast diminution of supply and the real estate market not really coming into balance. Sellers are still expecting prices to return to previous highs, and buyers are expecting prices to reflect current financing realities. So, with all of that noise out of the way, let's take a look now at the Villages real estate market specifically. As always, we start with total listings. This week there are 296. There were 297 last week, and there were 203 active listings this week last year. Listings in the villages currently range from 153,000, which is on the low side for what we've been seeing recently, to a high of 2.7 million. It might be interesting to note that the house that is for sale for 2.7 million is more than twice the price of the next most expensive house, which is 1.29 million. Here we take an in-depth look at the listings broken down by price segment. Once again, the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. This week there are 201 properties for sale. Last week there were 196. The week before that there were 193. The week before that 200, and the week before that 212. This is a look at the median listing price per square foot for all listings in the villages currently. This week it's $260.45, up $2 from the $258.55 that was in effect last week, but still down from the $270.49 that we saw this week last year. It's too early to tell if the downward trend has ended. Here we look at how long listings have been on the market. This is the median time on the market for all listings. This week it's 55 days. It was also 55 days last week. The median time on the market for all listings this week last year was 39 days. And another look at listings. This looks at the percentage of listings that have been on the market for 100 days or longer. This week, 76 out of the 296 listings qualify, which is 25.68%, almost unchanged from last week. Here we look at new listings and pending home sales over the last week. Last week there were 35 new listings compared to 36 the week before. This compares to 22 new listings for the same period last year. Last week, 41 properties went pending compared to 38 properties the week before, identical to the 41 properties that went pending same week last year. Here's a more in-depth look at the new listings. Last week there were 35 new listings compared to 36 the week before, and this compares to 22 new listings for the same period last year. Prices for new listings ranged from just under 200,000 to just under $2 million. Most active price segment, once again, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Last week there were 23 new listings, the week before 18, week before that 20, the week before that 14, and the week before that 25. Now we take a closer look at the pending home sales. The homes that went pending last week went pending at a median price per square foot of $249.69, down from $253.89 last week, and down noticeably from the $270.08 that was in effect for the same week last year. Here we look at how long the homes that went pending last week were on the market before going pending. 29 days the median time compared to 37 days that was in effect the week before, and this compares to 27 days on the market for homes that went pending this same week last year. Here we look at the homes that went pending last week to see what the price change from the original listing price was. Of the homes that went pending last week, the median price decrease was 6.26% from the original listing price, an improvement from the 6.97% decrease that we saw the week before, and noticeably worse than the 3.61% decrease that was in effect this week last year. Now we take a look at the homes that sold and closed last week. They numbered 29, down from 35 the week before, and about the same as the 28 homes that sold this same period last year. Prices for the homes that sold over the last 7 days, sold and closed that is, ranged from $180,000 to $1.85 million. Looking at the median price per square foot realized on the homes that sold and closed last week, $250 a square foot, down from $259 the previous week, and down very slightly from the $255 per square foot that was realized this week last year. And here we look at how long homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days were on the market before going pending. 31 days, the median time, compared to 37 days for the week before. This is obviously dramatically worse than the 9 days on the market that was the median time for the same week last year. And our last look at the homes that sold and closed last week is to take a look at how many of them were taken off the market within 7 days of being listed. The answer is 5 out of 29, which is 17.25%. Sales within 7 days are close to the lowest levels that we've seen over the last year and a half. And returning our attention again to all listings, we're looking at what percentage have reduced their asking price from the original listing price. This week, 55.29% have, compared to 54.88% last week, still higher than the 53.2% that had reduced their asking price this week last year. And here we look at what the change actually was. This is the median decrease for all listings currently. 4.58% is the median decrease from the original asking price. Slight improvement from the 4.6% that was in effect last week, and actually an improvement from the 4.72% median decrease that was in effect this week last year. So that ends this week's look at the Villages real estate market. Once again, I am a realtor here, and if you are interested in buying or selling a home in the Villages or Central Florida, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to give you an opinion, advice, or to assist you in buying or selling your home. If you're trying to make sure that you get a good price as a buyer, or you're trying to ensure that you're maximizing your return as a seller, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you or to answer any questions about life in the Villages itself. Hope to hear from you. Take care.